Party with your host, Dustin Rybka.
Hello and welcome to Sex Party. I'm your host, Dustin Rybka. With me on the show this week is adult performer and OnlyFans creator, Addison Vodka. We're going to talk about how she went from being a cam girl to OnlyFans to the mainstream industry. She's been in the mainstream a year. She's done 100 scenes. She's worked with Johnny Sins. She's done the Bang Bus. She wants to get into some wilder things. At the end of the interview, her and I write an impromptu wild porn scene. You guys are going to love this. She is hilarious. She is fun. She is smart. So without further ado, please enjoy my conversation with Addison Vodka.
This week's conversation.
Addison Vodka.
Hello.
We love vodka. Welcome to Sex Party. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Yeah. It's been a calamity of a week. We're not going to say what week it is just because I don't want to even get into the fucking mud of all of that. But it's been probably one of the most chaotic weeks this year. So there's a clue to you all. Yeah. How are you doing? Are you like with the stress of this week? Like, are we good? Are we freaking out?
It's just, yeah. Just a mix of emotions. It's just, everything's all over the place. I think there's a little much aggressiveness going on. So, I'm just kind of taking my seat back and just, it's interesting to watch. It's interesting to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah. It makes me it makes me want to like take a really long nap, and I just haven't been able to find a time to do that.
It's exhausting just like doing what I like to do on my phone.
Yeah. It's hard to be on the phone. To be on the internet right now, it's very difficult.
Very difficult. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't the internet's already difficult. Okay. So the people are here like, what the fuck is going on? What are they talking about? So for the people who don't know you, right? Let's say, they should know you, but let's say they don't, right? Let's say they were in a motorcycle accident. They crashed into a donut shop. They've been in a coma for a couple years, whatever, right? Okay. Maybe they took a nap, right?
Really long one.
Could you talk? They took a long sleep. Could you talk a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes. So, I am a adult performer full-time now. And I started as a cam girl and then kind of just worked my way through the rabbit hole. And now I am here, full-time adult actress. So I'm just from a small town, just kind of always been this open-minded little sexual deviant monster thing. And then the internet just found its way to me. And then from there, this was just natural progression. So pretty much just that small town girl having a little fun online.
Wow. Okay. No, that's what a great answer.
Thank you.
I think it's like the perfect answer actually. So immediately what I want to ask is, how did we arrive at Addison Vodka? Like, cause vodka, right?
Yeah.
We're huge fans of Tito's here.
Yes. Well, honestly, when I started, I just never really thought of it as like a name. You know what I mean? It was just a screen name. Mm-hmm. I just never thought that it was going to be something I was going to be called all the time. So when I was creating that screen name, I wanted something that was an alliteration. So the list that I made was like Addison Angel, this, stuff like that. And I didn't like any of them. None of them were sticking. And then one of the nights when I was trying to figure it out, I had a few drinks and I was like, vodka's cute. And then I just picked Addison Vodka. So, there you go.
Hell yeah.
I mean, who doesn't love vodka?
What a great origin story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's stuck.
Come on. Yeah. You have to love vodka.
Yes.
Yeah. So were you, and we'll go back to like how you got in and all the like cam stuff or whatever. But when you were like younger, before all of this, were you always like the horny friend? Were you always like the sexual person amongst your friend group that was always like, oh, I wonder what that's like, or I wonder how big this guy's dick is, or whatever. Like, was that you?
It was, but I was so much more. I was very shy about it. I was definitely like an undercover kind of horny person. I was very shy. I wasn't very outwardly sexual. Everything I was doing was literally just like me being pervy on the internet by myself. I think that once I got into this world was when it really opened me up, you know. But yeah, it was definitely there. It was there, but it was just inside.
Yeah. So so did you find friends to hang out with that were like you, or did you always stand out as like the horny chick?
I think that everyone kind of knew that was just my thing. I feel like, you know, everyone when you're younger is a little slutty, so I didn't really feel like I stuck out too much.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, and so did you like look into camming and you're like, oh, this could be, or like, how did you arrive at camming first? How long ago was this?
So that was probably about 3 years ago now, was the first time that I ever cammed, and that's when all of that started. So I actually started camming because I was dating someone at the time, and I had seen some TikTok or something that was like, oh, if you want to see what your boyfriend's doing online, you should Google his gamer tag, and it'll come up with like his Reddit, or if he's doing something weird. So I Googled his gamer tag, and then all of these results for all these websites came up. And I was like, wait a minute. And one of them was a camming website with Chatterbait, which is where I stream on. And I like saw all of this stuff that he was like actively camming just by himself, like doing all this crazy stuff online that I had no idea about. So basically I called him out about it, and he said that he would stop, and he didn't. And so then I kind of was like, well, you know what? If you're going to do it, I'm going to do it. And then one night I did it, and it took off like way more than I expected. So I was like, you know, I'm just going to keep doing this. And then, fast forward a little bit more, I ended up just kind of taking over the website he loved so much. So that was.
Oh my God. Okay. This is super interesting.
It was sort of like a revenge.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Addison's revenge, right? And so so you Googled and found out that he was like throwing coins at other women, or he was actually camming himself?
He was camming himself and doing the throwing of the coins.
Oh, shit.
But, you know, he was speaking to like an audience of, no one.
Oh, yeah, he's a guy. Yeah. No one, I mean, you know, it's very, very different. Okay. So, so you're this horny person, this horny girl, and then you find out your boyfriend is camming, not telling you about it. He's like chucking fucking golden coins at all these other women. And then you're like, you know what? Like, I am about to just do it myself. So then you do it out of revenge.
Yes.
What was that first cam experience like? Was he watching? Was he throwing coins at you?
No, he didn't know I did it, because I was kind of just like, whatever, one night when I was at home, and I was so nervous. It was insane. But then, you know, thousands and thousands of people started joining the room, and I was like, what's happening? But it was really fun. It just came to me naturally, I guess. And it was really fun. And then I kind of just like fell in love with it, because I was like, wait, I love people watching me. I don't want to stop.
Yeah, no, that is so interesting, because it seems like you probably had like that gave you an outlet for all the, well, to like express yourself, you know, and also too, like for the horniness, right? And
Yes.
did you always have like a kink or fetish about people watching you?
I think so. I think I did. I would always, I was just always like slutty on the internet. Like I loved sending nudes on Snapchat. I loved like going on like Omegle and like all of that stuff. So, it's always been there. It's always been there.
Yeah. Was that first cam experience, was that on Chatterbait, or was it somewhere else?
That was on, I've never ever even streamed anywhere else. I just liked it there and I stuck with it.
Yeah, Chatterbait is awesome. They
yes.
We were at Exotica, like right next to them the whole time in the booth we had, and it was like they're just so much fun. Yeah, I feel like they're just like there's something about the way their platform is set up that's just more like wild and like MTV and the fucking 90s kind of vibes. I don't know. It just seems like a lot more fun. Okay, so that first stream, did you fully go into it? Were you just like teasing in a bikini, or did you get fully naked? Did you masturbate? I mean, what was that first experience like, and how long did you? Okay.
Yeah. So the first time I did it, and I actually kept this kind of thing for a while, I would never get fully naked, but it was somehow very successful. I would never get fully naked. And that stayed for quite a while. But then, eventually I was kind of just like, what? Let's go. But yeah, just kind of teasy.
Yeah. Yeah. So what happened when you decided to finally like get fully naked? And like, did you just get naked and then kind of hang out, or did you move like slowly into like masturbating, or was it still like more of a tease thing? Because this is something I think that like even OnlyFans creators, some of them, not all of them, they'll draw these things out for a really long time. And like some guys really like that and some guys really don't. So
yeah, so it definitely was just, I would always kind of just go with it, but it was so fun to be able to tease like, oh yeah, I'm going to take my panties off. Like, here we go. This is like going to be a huge deal. So I really liked to stick with that for a while. It definitely helped things be a little more exciting, I feel like. But yeah, it progressed naturally, but it was fun to hold out.
Yeah, I mean, again, like there's a good mix of that. How long did you hold out for before you finally gave them all what they wanted?
Oh, it wasn't too long. I feel like, and then I just started, because I kind of had a method to the way that I would do my streams. It was like, it'd just be progressively like stripping or this or that, unless I was doing it with another person. But, my first shows, I was so shy. I was so like innocent, shy girl. But I also knew that's what it seemed like. So I would kind of lean into it a little bit. And
yeah, it's smart. Yeah.
Yeah. When I first started, there was like such that innocent amateur factor. And what I did was, I remember people being like, oh, upgrade your webcam, like you're literally just using the camera on your computer. And I was like, no, because I feel like that made people think that I was just like brand new, so amateur. I kept the shitty camera for like a really long time on purpose.
Yeah, I think that these are like really smart like marketing tactics, actually. I mean, the look and feel, I mean, that amateur vibe, I mean, even on like Pornhub and shit, somehow it's still like in the top 3 or 4 categories, like right below like daughter swap or whatever shit's going on or whatever. But like, it's always in there. Amateur is always in there. Yeah. People like want to have that realism to it,
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that. So I get it.
Okay. So did you see like a massive uptick in like the coins being thrown at you once you started like getting naked and actually masturbating, or like, was it a huge jump?
It was, I feel like, the crazier I got, like it was definitely like people were really excited, but it was fun to do that kind of progression thing. It was interesting because the more you'd go throughout the show, like you see like the views go higher and this and that. And it was addicting.
Yeah, I would imagine totally. And especially if you're making money. So did you tell like your friends, did you tell like dudes you'd meet like, hey, I'm camming, or did you keep it to yourself?
So when I was first doing that, I was very secretive about it, except to like my friends, because I don't care about if they know me. So yeah, I would definitely
Yeah.
like try to hide it from people. Like I didn't tell people that's what I was doing if I didn't really know them. And yeah, no, if I was like hanging out with a guy or something, I was like, you don't need to know. But yeah, it was definitely like I was a little nervous about that at first, but now I'm like, I'll scream it off the rooftop. Like I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, especially, I mean, and again, like if you're making a bunch of money, sometimes it's like hard to hide that fact. Like, oh, why she's buying drinks tonight, or like what? I mean, people can tell, and I think,
Yeah,
if you're making a bunch of money on camming, I feel like you'd be happier than most people because you're kind of doing your own thing. And if you like it,
right.
that's a whole other thing. I just know like I used to do nightclub shit
Hmm.
forever, and the audience is like sick of hearing that story. But like for 15 years, I did like nightlife. I opened clubs around the country, all these things. And you would always like, I would always be able to pick out like the cam girls or like the OnlyFans, early OnlyFans, like girls, because they just had this sort of, I don't, I'm here because I really want to have fun. I don't need any of this shit from these dudes. I got my own money kind of thing. Like there was this
Right.
cool
Yeah.
confidence that the cam girls always had, because they had their own
Right.
little world.
Right. Yeah. I know. Well, I feel like I don't know if I've unlocked that level yet. I'm like, I see those girls and I'm like, I wish I was you.
Well, I think that everybody's different, and I mean, you can tell you definitely have a confidence about yourself. You're not afraid to. I mean, just in the few minutes that we've spent, like it matches up pretty deeply, truly, to the notes from Erica Icon at the Rub PR. Shout out to
Mhm.
Erica, we love her.
We love
Uh,
her.
she's the best of the best. Yeah, and yeah, I think that in the notes she presents you as someone who's like free spirited and like not afraid to show their sexual side. So like that all tracks with everything that you've just said.
Yeah.
What so what happened to the boyfriend? Did you just break up with him and like, I'm a cam star now, I don't need you, or what?
It was a little messier than that, but I mean that's kind of pretty much how it went.
Okay. I mean,
Both were just like,
I mean, if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to, but like like how messy did it get?
oh, we can just say that it went on for far too long and there was a
Oh
lot
god.
involved. I mean, it ended up at one point like, he was cheating and this and that. And yeah, I did get punched in the face by a stripper at one point. So there was that. So
Holy shit. So you punched in the face by a stripper?
yes, yeah, that's how
Wow.
bad it got.
Like, was it okay? Did it happen in a public place, in a strip club, or was this like in your driveway?
It was at a public place. It was,
Okay.
and I'm not a
Of
fighting
course.
girl, but yeah, so it was messy. It was messy.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, now you're in the adult industry and you're successful, and so you again, I like Addison's Revenge, right? That may be the
Yes.
episode title, Addison's Revenge. So like here you are. Okay, at what do you then go from camming to OnlyFans, or how does that work? Or did you go right to the mainstream, or like what was the progression?
Yeah, so well, I started at camming, and like every time I'd be streaming, people would be like, "Do you have an OnlyFans? Do you have an OnlyFans?" And I was like, "No, I don't have one. Like, I don't want to make one. Whatever." Finally, I like buckled down and made one. And for the longest time, like a really long time, like I never touched that thing. Like it was just like I'd be streaming and people would be like, "Can I message you here?" And I'd be like, "Sure, I don't look at it." And it's like, you know. Then as I like continued on, I decided to kind of explore that avenue as I started meeting more people, going to expos and stuff. I was like, okay, cool. Like this is another thing. And then I started collabing with people. And that's when I really started taking that a little more seriously because I was like, oh, this is fun. Like, this is cool. And yeah, then from there, once I really got into the OnlyFans side of the world, then that introduced me to, like, I started meeting like people who do mainstream. And then I was like, wait, that's so fun. That's so cool. Like, why did I not think that I could do that? It's like, and then it just happened.
Okay, so you go over to, so eventually you had like a dormant OnlyFans, then eventually you were like, I better give this a try or something, right? And so when you did that, so was it just you then doing solos over there at first, or were you like doing girl or boy girl, or what did that look like?
I did I did like few solo things, but I mainly just like jumped right into collabing. Like I did girl, boy, girl. That's what I enjoyed doing the most. So I was like, that's what I'll put on here. And yeah, it was really fun.
So this is a big question that I always ask creators too, because I think it's something that like, whether you're in the industry or you're not, you don't really realize there's not like a central, like there's no website for you to go to and like pick through like who you're going to collab with. Right. And so everybody's different. Yeah. And the content that everybody shoots is different. So where were you finding like your female and your male collaborators? Were they guys that you were dating and like whatever? Or were they other women that you knew that were doing OnlyFans, or how did you find people to hook up with on OnlyFans?
So that started, I had kind of been in the realm of things. Like the cam world is a little bit different and a little bit smaller than like once you get into OnlyFans and once you get into like mainstream. So once I started meeting people, I started doing a little more on Twitter. I started getting a little more traction on there. And then I just started following a bunch of people on Twitter. And one of my first collabs ever was with Johnny Sins. So I just jumped right into messaging people.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. So wait a minute. So you sent Johnny Sins a tweet and he's like, okay, sure, let's have sex on camera.
Well, he followed me on Twitter and then I just messaged him and I was like, hi, I'd love to work with you. And he was like, okay. I just did it. I was like, okay.
Wow. Okay, so you send Johnny Sins a tweet. You guys, he's like, oh yeah, cool. Let's hook up. And then it just happens, or like what was that like?
Well, I flew to California and then we just met up and did the thing.
Were you nervous?
Yeah. No, I was literally like pissing my pants nervous. I was shaking in the Uber ride there. I was like, I'm gonna throw up on him. Like, so.
Oh my God. That's okay. So, okay. How many dudes had you like had sex with on camera before Johnny Sins, would you say?
I don't know. My timeline at this point, like, all messed up. It's yeah. It's been quite a few murky at this point, so I don't.
Yes, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You're a successful creator. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I think, before we like dive into more of like the Johnny Sins side of it, like I think people don't realize and you can speak to this because you already have talked about it, but like the idea of like having sex on camera, but then also having sex on camera that's public is such a, I don't want to say like fetish. I don't want to say like whatever, but it's such a thing that a lot of people don't really know that turns them on until it does. Right. And so were you noticing that the scenes you did were like, were like turning you on more and more to like think like, oh shit, I feel empowered having sex with people on camera. I feel it makes me hornier when I know it's on camera, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the moment that I started doing the camming thing, I was like, oh, I love this way too much. I was like, It was just like having an audience was just really, exciting. And, getting to, it's a little different not doing it live. That was one of the first things I realized, but I still thought it was fun. It's just like, the idea of having anything like on camera is just exciting and different. Especially, once I started working with other people, it was cool to be like, oh, this is going to go, especially someone as big as Johnny. It was like, oh, so many people are going to see this. Like, that's insane. And so kind of the thrill of it.
Yeah. So you get to Johnny Sins's house or apartment or fucking some luxury hotel room he has, right? And like, are you just like, oh my God, I'm gonna pass out and throw up everywhere, or like how does the rest of that scene go? I mean, does he make you feel comfortable, and then you're like, all right, I can do this?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, he was so nice, and it was super super chill. I was just nervous because I'm like, this is the most talented bald man, as they call him. And I was like, am I gonna be okay? But no, he was great. Obviously, I was really excited because like, who wouldn't want to have sex with Johnny Sins? But
sure, yeah.
He was so sweet. It was very comfortable and fun, and then we just like had a great nasty time.
Okay, so a great nasty time. Well, okay, let's get descriptive. What went down in that scene? Blowjob? Like, was it just traditional boy girl? Like, was there anal in there? Like, what happened in the Johnny Sin scene?
Well, so he decided that we were going to do kind of a little skit intro, and at this point, I had never done that, and I was like, okay, so you want me to act on top of the nerves that I already have? Like, he told me, he's like, oh, how about you pretend like you're on the phone with your boyfriend, and like, we'll just go from there. Like, you're going to be on the phone with your boyfriend telling him everything's okay while we start, going at it. And I was like, you want me to pretend talk? I'm already so nervous. I was like, this is a lot. So yeah, we did kind of like this little skit intro, and then thankfully it wasn't too much, and then we just got to do the fun stuff. But it was just, it was over an hour long tape, so yeah, that was just went for a while. We kind of just it was just pretty natural.
Yeah, and I mean, it sounds like it, and I've heard that before on the show, that women that work with him, like, they have had similar experiences. So what did it feel like for you as a person? Because I obviously, and people, there's two sides of this. Like, you have to like nail the performance, right? And then there's like, but it's also a mix of, you are a human and some things are real. So what did it feel like as a woman who likes sex to have sex with Johnny Sins?
I mean, it was phenomenal. So, yeah, it was definitely, it feels the way it looks. Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So are all men ruined for you now that you've had Johnny Sins, or?
No, he's that person for a reason. That's why there's, definitely not.
Yeah.
Everyone's different.
Yeah.
No, I still enjoy other people.
Yeah. You're just like dreaming about Johnny Sins all day, every day. Yeah, no, I think that's great. I think that's awesome. And was that for both of your guys' OnlyFans then? It was like the collab?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. A little content trade.
Okay. And then from there, does your OnlyFans just like explode off the fucking wall everywhere?
That was definitely the moment where I noticed it getting the most attention that it had gotten ever at that point, which felt really good. I was really excited about that. It was kind of like, those were the moments where I started realizing I could do more than just camming. I was like, oh, there's this whole other world out here where there's so much more audience. There's so much more to do. And so that was kind of the moment where I was like, oh, I'm going to put this into high gear and let's go. Like,
yeah. Well, did you then like kind of push your way into the adult industry, or did someone come looking for you, or how did that happen?
At that point, I still, the thought of mainstream was still very far away from my head because it wasn't, I don't know. I just never, for some reason, it just seemed like it was nowhere in my grasp. But then as time went on, you know, I met people who were actively doing mainstream work. And then as time continued and, you know, my Twitter and my socials got more attention, I did get like a few agents and this reaching out to me, but still at the time I was kind of like, I don't know what this means, you know? And then when the time came where I was ready to start that, I didn't know what to do. So I just started emailing. I started emailing like the websites from whatever email they had on there. And I figured, you know, most of those emails wouldn't get answered because, like, you know, you go to a big porn website and you click contact, that's just going to go to like the billing people or something. So I was just sending all of these emails out and I was like, hi, here's my pictures. Like, can I work for you? And the only, I did get a response, one response. I got a response from,
one response?
Yeah. I got one response from bang.com.
From billing or what?
It was, yeah, bang.com. I guess they were the only one that had a real email. And they responded to me. And then from there, they kind of just started that whole next chapter for me.
Okay, so what did they say back? Like, yeah, come on in or what?
Well, it was really giving traditional casting vibes, you know, the way that I was trying to go about it, I guess.
Yeah, that was so casting couch email.
Yeah. No, they really were. They responded to me and they were like, hey, well, where are you located? What are your rates? This. And I was like, my rate? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know what any of this means. I don't know what to do. So I just like made up a number. I tried to Google. I literally typed into Google. I was like, I typed into Google. I was like, female.
How much do porn stars get paid?
I was like, female porn star rates in 2024. No answers. No answers anywhere. Oh my God. So I just like kind of made up a number.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. And then they set me up. They were like,
did they take your number or what?
Yes.
Oh my God.
They did. Luckily, my number was like right on the mark with what was correct. So I guess we were good. But
that's insane. So you literally just pulled like a number like out of the sky? You just randomly, or did you have some sort of base where you're like, oh, well, I know so-and-so, I did this for OnlyFans and da-da-da, or like, what did you do? How'd you do that?
I think how I got to that conclusion was because I didn't have any friends like that I felt comfortable reaching out to at the time, being like, hey, what do you make? Mm-hmm. Like, what do you charge? So I think I had seen something on Reddit that was like, and it was from years and years ago. And so I just like added a couple $100 to it. And I was like, hope that works. Yeah.
Let me know. Yeah. So they're like, oh my God, this woman is so not expensive. Let's book her for everything. So you get booked through bang.com, was it?
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, they booked me and then they set me up with someone that did bookings in Florida, I guess. Someone's like assistant or something. And then they booked me a few more scenes and then that's kind of how I kept going from there and to start off.
Okay. Did you up your rates then?
No, because I actually was like, I did the perfect amount.
No, that's insane. So what was that first mainstream scene like? Like what kind of scene was that? And then let's go back to the nerves and shit. Cause I want like people who aren't in this industry, right? Or they're curious about this industry to know for a human being, like what it would really feel like. So you basically slid into the DMs on bang.com. You sent an email, right? Which it like worked brilliant, right? And you have this experience with OnlyFans and like Johnny Sins and whomever, right? And then you're like, okay, now it's the real deal. So what did that first mainstream scene feel like?
Well, I was obviously at this point I was like, okay, I'm ready for the next thing. I need more. And I underestimated how nervous I would be, truly. The first scene I did, they gave me a very long script. Very long. And
oh no.
well, at the time it felt long. Now that doesn't seem long to me, but so I'll just be honest, I botched that so bad. That scene has never come out. That scene has never come out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
really? Oh my God.
And it actually
like
it
you botched the acting or the sex?
I think both.
Wait, how? What do you mean you botched it? Because you were so nervous?
Well, it was the first time that I had ever been like, they had like kind of a method for the way that you went through it. It was like, okay, you're going to do this many minutes in this. You're going to do this many minutes in this. You need to open to the camera. You need to be at this angle. And I'm sitting there. They turn the AC off when you shoot scenes. We're in Florida. I'm sweating. I'm shaking. I'm like, I don't know. I can't do this. I'm like, I'm panicking. I'm like, and so, yeah, let's just say, luckily the person that my co-star was so nice, so nice. He was like, don't be nervous. It's okay. Like, we'll get through this. And, we did get through it, but I will say it was not my best work. It was not my best work.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's so awesome. I feel like you just made everybody who's ever been nervous and like, or had an experience like that or wants or whatever, you just made everyone feel so much better. And I think that's like, feels like the storyline here is that like, porn, OnlyFans creators, like there's a human being there that is going to human no matter what. And I think the fact that you're cool to like share that and you think it's funny is the best thing ever because that's like humility. And I think people miss that, how much fun that can be to like look back at the things you've done and be like, oh shit,
Yeah, totally. I mean, what else can I do? I gotta just make fun of myself before someone in the comments does,
Yeah. No, I tend to take that approach too with the podcast. It's usually just some fucking incel idiot anyway. So it's like, oh, sure. Yeah, I'm a fucking idiot and my lips are big. Whatever you say, dude. Like, thanks for the engagement. I appreciate it. I don't know, yeah. Well, I mean, that's the only way to do it. What was that scene? Was it just a boy girl with no air conditioning?
Yes, it was just a boy girl with no air conditioning. And that one wasn't even actually for bang.com. They had like, it was weird. It was like a weird schedule. So there was that one. And then the next day I did the Bang Bus. And then at that point I was like, I'm a professional. I was like, I'm a professional. I'm gonna kill this. And so I like to say,
oh my God.
I like to say that was my first scene ever, even though it wasn't the first one that was ever recorded. It was the first one. It was the first one that ever graced the internet.
Well, okay. There's a lot here. This is awesome too, because little secret about my podcast. The first time I call it episode 0. I've never put it out. It's never aired. Not because it's horrible, but like here I am with all my podcast shit, and I'm like, yeah, finally after 2 years of thinking about it, I'm gonna do it, and I do it, and like 20 minutes in, the woman's like. And she's just like free. I can't see anything. Like somehow internet goes down, and like then she comes back and we record all this thing, but everything after the pause is not even there. So it's like 20 minutes of her and I talking, and then another 40 of me just talking. So like that's never going to see the light of day either. So I totally get it. But like to go from the nervous, no AC blowout, like oh shit, to the bang bust, that's a fucking huge jump.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was trying my hardest. I was like, okay, you did this yesterday. You know how it's going to go. And they were totally different, but I definitely felt much more comfortable that one.
Yeah.
Thank God, because that one did get published online.
Well, do you think that, okay, this is fascinating. I love this because I just had recently, I had Brenna McKenna on, and she talked about how her first anal was on the fucking bang bus. And I was like, what the hell? Like, how is that? So, and it was I think it was her second scene or third scene or whatever. But so you have this scene, you're like, oh man, I'm not sure how I did in that. That was crazy. And then like, hey, do you want to do the bang bus tomorrow? So, do you get nervous and then but it's like kind of contained because it's like, oh, like does the driving aspect make it easier? Tell me about what you were feeling like with the bang bus experience.
Well, that one, I was honestly so excited about that one because I love the bang bus. I mean, who doesn't? Like I used to watch that all the time, and I was like, oh my God, this is it. Like, this is it. This is a dream come true. So I was really excited. But I was also excited because I was, it genuinely, one thing about the bang bus is that like, it's like that. Like, it's not really that, like, there's not really any fakeness that goes into that. Like, you kind of just get there and they're like, okay, we're going to drop you off here. And then you're just going to go with it. And I was like, what? So, yeah, like, I'm kind of just like standing on the street corner and I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah, that's how you know you made it for sure. You're waiting for the bang bus to pick you up. You have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, but that one was definitely
I fucking love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me why that was a lot, because this feels like so fun, because I feel like we're kind of no pun intended, we're kind of going on the ride with you a little bit in the bang bus. So what did that scene consist of, and did you guys hit any potholes or?
No, I was really on that one. It was like I was like focused on, they're actually driving around. Like there's no movie magic happening. Like you are in a van and you don't know what's happening. There's just like it was crazy. Yeah, we were literally driving around the streets of Florida in the bus filming.
Oh my God. So did you have like a script where you're like, or was it just like you're some strange stranger that, oh, let's pick her up, she looks fun or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, when I got in the car, they were like, okay, we're gonna drop you off here, and we're gonna pull up to you, and you're just gonna go with it. And I was like, okay. So.
Yeah, no, that seems totally wild. So was you and one other guy, or was it like, what was the scene?
Yes, it was just one other guy, and well, there's the guys driving, the guys with the camera, and then,
yeah,
then there's the guy that's in the bus that you is like your co-star. So yeah,
right.
Yeah, but it was just this boy girl in the bus.
Okay, and so how long does it take to shoot something like that?
Well, that one's quick because there's no cinematography involved with that one. You go on a ride and
have sex. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. At this point, right? So you did the first thing, you did the fucking bang bus, which is legendary. Like how are these scenes finishing? Like, do you like are these people like are these dudes like at this point early on in your porn career, or maybe like even in your OnlyFans, like is it like the cum shot on the face, or people coming inside of you? Is it like some other thing that I am not thinking of? Like how does this, where's the ejaculation happening, right? Because I feel like we need to paint a picture, no pun intended, but like of how things sort of escalate, or maybe because I feel like porn a while ago, and this is like a long time ago, like even like the cum facial shot shit, people would work their way up to if they're like climbing a porn ladder. But now it just seems like almost like, oh, that seems like, like the first thing is it cool to do here? Like, is there a negotiation about that? Or like, where does that wind up with you?
Well, for me, I was like, whatever. I don't care. Which, there was no progression with any of those for me. I was just like, come wherever, come everywhere. Like, who cares?
That's awesome. No. Okay, so then the bang bus drops you off. You're covered in cum, and they just drive away, and you go back to your car or whatever. But I mean, honestly, like I'm looking at some of these. I mean, 100 scenes, and okay, you've been in mainstream for what, a year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, 100 scenes in a year is crazy.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been pretty wild.
Well, there's like some giant companies on here too. So, I mean, it sounds like you've done a lot of different stuff. I mean, what are like to you personally? I mean, I'm not going to like, I mean, this again, personally, like what are your standout scenes? Like what are your most memorable experiences for you so far in the first year?
Well, I really do like to think of the bang bus as one of my favorites, even though it was like, that's crazy to think about how long ago, but it wasn't long ago. It was really amazing to be able to work with so many of the companies that I just wanted to forever. Working for Vixen is awesome. You feel like a movie star. Hook Up Hotshot, I was just a fan of for so long. And I mean, everyone's just been so great. Like literally every time I do something, I'm like, how is this happening?
Yeah. So as far as the type of scenes that you've done, like what kind of things have you done? Has it all been boy girl? Has it been boy girl girl? Has it been boy girl? Like where are we at after a year? Like what kind of scenes have you done?
So I will say I am a bit disappointed at where I'm at. I'm like, nothing too crazy yet.
Okay.
I haven't done, on my list of what I want to do is, like I want to do just all the crazy things, like, all of the blow bang, gang bang type things. But yeah, no, I haven't done anything too crazy yet. Typically just boy, girl, boy, girl. I haven't done anal. I haven't done anything too crazy.
Is that because you're climbing that ladder, or is that because like you're choosing to sort of hold on to those things, or like what like, I mean, the first year obviously is a big one, but also too, like I feel like people don't really, well, I don't know. It depends on the person, I guess. But
right.
I mean, why would you say you haven't done like a DP or something yet, or anal or whatever?
Well, anal is just like, I've never really even done that personally. So I'm kind of just like, once I get there, then obviously I'm just like mainstream it up. But with everything else, I don't know why. I haven't organized it myself for like content, which, but
Sure.
yeah, companies just haven't booked me for it. So I'm like, I'm waiting. I'm here. There's no other reason. I'm
Do you
totally
hear that,
for
companies? Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, that sounds like an open invitation for someone to book you for something nuts. Again, fuck. I can't say anything on the show without it sounding absolutely perverted. So we'll just have to roll with it. Yeah. Well, okay. On this list of companies that you, or, people that you shot for, and we are talking about your acting chops early on, how you were nervous, right? But like,
Yeah.
I see My Pervy Family on here, and you have to act a lot for that one. And
Yeah.
that one is always in like the top, and this is a topic we get into, is like this taboo shit. And I think there's a reason why. I mean, some performers are like, I don't want to do the taboo stuff, but I will. Some are like, oh no, I think it's horny. And some are like, yeah, I don't really care either way. It's fun, whatever. But there's a reason why it's always in like the top 5, like on the hub and shit, because people want that sort of taboo thing. So My Pervy Family, I mean, like, use your imagination, guys. But like, what did you shoot for them? And did you have to like take method acting courses or or what?
No, actually, as time has gone on, I've discovered that I do love the acting. I love the acting. And I now, even from the time that I shot like that My Pervy Family scene, I definitely think that I have improved quite a bit. But yeah, that one was just, typical step bro kind of vibe. It was really fun.
Yeah.
I worked with Zane Walker, and he's great. He's really it was good because like we were friends, so we had that kind of thing going. So it was easy. It's easier to do the acting type of, especially if you're doing just making it up on the spot. If you know the person, it's easy to just improv it.
Yeah, I would imagine. So that was you banging your stepbrother.
Yes.
Did you? Okay. So how do you feel about like like the more taboo content like that? Do you just think it's like fun? Do you like not prefer it, but you'll do it, or like what are your feelings on it?
I mean, I think it's fun. I think it's fun to do taboo. I don't know, everyone's different, of course, but like me personally, I enjoy it. I think that being taboo is what, part of like being kinky and stuff is. Like, I like it.
Yeah, and I feel like that kind of stuff, like even in a role play sort of thing, like in a relationship, or like when you're doing that for porn, like it adds like this extra insane charge to the experience. It adds that like even to like the orgasm that you have. It's like, oh shit, this feels like raunchy and like wrong, but I'm safe in doing it because we're just sort of playing around, acting this out or whatever. And I feel like on the show we come up against that all the time, that people should just like embrace their taboo stuff or whatever. So it sounds like you found that to be the same thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So do you think you'll do more of that kind of content moving forward?
Yeah, I do it all the time. I know it's like a big hit for what people enjoy, and I also enjoy it. I think it's fun. It's fun to come up with that kind of stuff. It's fun to come up with a situation, that you wouldn't, you can kind of have that naughty fantasy about, but you never get to indulge in reality. So that's part of what makes it exciting and arousing. I like it. It's fun.
Yeah, I love that answer. I just feel like, some people, I mean, again, like to each their own, but there has to be a reason why it's in the top 3 or 5. Like, I mean, clearly if human beings are clicking on that a lot, there's something there to it,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so what? So when you start doing mainstream and you've done it for a year, like what happens to your OnlyFans then? Does it just like explode? Like people see you, on Pornhub, or they have a fucking membership to hook up Hotshot or whatever, and then they start flooding in over on OnlyFans? Like, how does that? What does that look like?
Well, honestly, it was pretty crazy. It was at first it was it was a little like nothing too much, but then like I started doing a lot more stuff on Pornhub. And, once videos on there started getting more attention, that's where I noticed like the biggest jump for me. And, from there it was, I waited so long to start doing mainstream because I told myself one of the reasons why I waited was I wanted to have a little bit of a fan base first, which I'm glad I did do it that way. Cause then like, once you have that, then, the other stuff just adds onto it. And it's just crazy. Like I feel every day, like new people are like, I saw you here. I saw you here. I saw you here. And I'm like, yay. Like, I love
it. No. Yeah. That's, I mean, and that's the thing too, is like there's some people that just do OnlyFans. There's some people that, I don't think there's many that just do mainstream. I think pretty much everyone has an OnlyFans or a loyal fan or both. But I think that, those things are like symbiotic. And so when you have an OnlyFans or a loyal fans and then you're doing mainstream, it's like you do see those people sort of like the symbiosis of that. Like people do come over from your mainstream stuff like, oh, this chick's fun or whatever, or I like this, or she did that one scene where she was nervous and the bang bus or whatever. And like then they go subscribe to they kind of like sort of feed each other. And I think that's another point to sort of drive home too. I think that there's just different types of creators, and some like you will be like, I want more, I need more, I'm going to do mainstream and see the benefits of that. And then other people might just like stick with OnlyFans, but they do like, everyone just is like, oh, that's it for porn now that we have OnlyFans on our phone. Like, no way. I feel like they make each other work better.
Yeah. I think there's definitely, that's definitely a thing that happens, but people definitely have that argument. They're like, OnlyFans ruined mainstream porn, which,
yeah,
that's a whole other can of worms. But I mean, it's still there. It's never going to go away.
Okay. So on your OnlyFans, like what kind of requests are you getting, and are they weird? And I'm not kink shaming anybody, because people can have weird requests, but like, are you getting a lot of strange requests, or is it like, what's the most popular request that you get? Are you known for something specific? Have you ever opened a DM on OnlyFans and been like, you want me to do what?
Honestly, I've said this before. Whenever I get this question, I'm like, I don't think I get that weird of requests, or maybe like, I just don't think it's weird. I don't know. Probably the thing that I get asked to do the most on OnlyFans or not is like anything piss related. So there's that. And then just like foot stuff.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the extent of it for me. No one's ever asked me to do anything super crazy. I've heard really weird stuff from my friends and stuff, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the day that I get the most shocking custom video request of my life. Just
that actually sounds like you're inviting them to do that, and I applaud you for that.
Yes, I am. Please, I want it.
Yeah, please go over to her OnlyFans and like request some sort of, I don't know, Christmas themed ham content. I don't even know what that means, but I'm just throwing it out there to get the weirdness started.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So you said piss stuff. So is it like they want you to piss on yourself? They want you to piss on them? Like what's the angle here?
All of that.
The piss.
All of that. Anything you can imagine with it.
Yeah. Okay. And so with that question on the books, do you find that in porn you're more like, in mainstream you're more submissive, and then on OnlyFans they want you to be more dominant, or is it just kind of like, I mean, and also too, bonus question, are you more submissive or more dominant in your sex style?
I feel like for the longest time I was, and that's mostly like my mainstream scenes, definitely more on the submissive side. But I feel like as time has gone on, I have discovered that I very much enjoy doing the dominating as well. So, it's kind of turned into that. And I did just recently shoot a scene where I got to be quite dominant, so that was fun. Uh, definitely though, was always super submissive. I like being submissive. I think it's very enjoyable, but now I'm into both sides.
So would you consider yourself like a switch then?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That tracks. That tracks. So yeah, because I think, if you if you're submissive and then or a scene was it like a scene required it and so you snapped into character like, oh, I kind of like this, or was it an OnlyFans? Like, how did you actually find out that you enjoyed being more dominant? Was it an OnlyFans request you got, or like again, like someone's like, I want you to piss on my birthday cake or whatever it is, and you're like, oh, this not, oh.
Right. I think it was kind of just a mix of everything. It was like someone asking me to do a more aggressive, like JOI type thing, or it was, just even like having more of an attitude in a scene. And all of that kind of just trickled into me being like, wait, this is so fun. Really actually enjoying it. So.
Wow. No, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing that I get from you too, is like you're still in this exploratory sort of, I mean, it's only been a year, but 100 scenes, like someone who does 100 scenes and who can like enjoy it and laugh about the times that they haven't, maybe done as well as they wanted to in terms of being nervous or whatever.
Yeah.
And, you're like cold emailing bang.com and like going and banging Johnny Sin. So like,
Yeah.
it feels like you're still exploring. And that being said, I mean, what's coming up for you? Like, is there stuff around the corner? Maybe you shot some things you can't really talk about, but like, where are you headed in terms of your exploring your sexuality?
Yeah, so I actually have some very exciting things coming up. And I have shot some things that I can't say, but I'm very excited about. One of the things I have coming up is gonna be definitely one of the more more out of the norm for me, which I'm excited about. It's gonna be a lot more intense of a scene. So yeah, very exciting things coming up. I'm excited to kind of see where the new year takes me and this whole next year of mainstream. I feel like I'm just getting started, and I have such a drive for it, and this, just wanting to keep going and blowing up. So just not gonna stop.
So okay, so you're doing mainstream, you're doing OnlyFans, and you're still camming, obviously.
Yeah, here and there, I still try to get on there, but the schedule's gotten a little crazier.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like it's gotten way
Yeah.
crazier. But you were nominated for favorite cam girl AVN 2024, so congrats to that. That's giant.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so we're getting close to the end here. So let's say you had full creative control and like dial into that for a second. But what would your dream porn scene be? You don't have to say like who's involved unless you want to, but like what would the scenario be? Are we doing are we doing like weird fucking shit? Are we doing, is it a gangbang? Like you mentioned blow bang earlier, but like if you could do a scene and you had full creative control, you could write the script, everything, what would it be?
Oh, it would go just so weird. I would probably do something in the realm of kind of old school kink style, kink.com. Definitely just something really probably outside, gangbang, crazy, just really weird script, maybe even like, some kind of culty vibes. We're going weird. I want a good storyline. But yeah, no, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Well, culty vibes outside, gangbang. I mean, I sold for everybody listening and watching. They're like, okay, when the fuck? Okay, first of all, like where outside? Like a public place, or is it like are we in the woods?
I feel like we could do both. Why not? If I have creative freedom, we're going public and then we're going in the woods and then we can go everywhere.
Yeah, no, this is fucking awesome. Okay, and then culty gangbang are they wearing like some kind of masks? And how many are there? Like, how many would you want to preferably start with?
I feel like 5 or more is just the bare minimum. You need 5,
Okay,
I think. So I don't know. We
I
could do
agree.
a
Yeah,
we could do a number between 5 and 10. we could we could go there. I like the mask idea. I think we have something here. I think we could make a make a good script.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, for real. We should write something up and then just like sell it. You go do it, and they can fucking, like
Yes.
successful. This is what she wanted to do, whatever, right? I mean, I just feel like maybe some cult robes, animal
Yes.
masks, something
Yes.
weird.
Yeah.
For some
Maybe,
reason,
like,
I keep
sacrifice
picturing it at like,
vibes.
yeah, okay, yeah, all right, yeah. I mean, totally, like a human sacrifice cult, sex cult, gangbang. It's just exactly what this industry. This actually right now is what the world needs, to be honest.
I think it would distract everyone. I think everyone would be able to like, sit back and relax and watch that. I think it would just
Yeah. Totally. And maybe we do like a 2-parter, like a trilogy to like keep everybody, it's like keeps getting worse, or better, right?
worse. Let's make it worse.
Stay tuned next week and like a whole, yes, like lots of spit, all of those things. Yes. I mean, we need to be like totally blown out of our minds right now. And so that would be, I mean, Addison Vodka saves the world. So let's, Addison's Revenge, right? There you go.
Yes.
That could be perfect.
Wait,
awesome.
That could be the second one. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. The Addison Strikes Back, for real. Addison's Revenge.
Yeah, you have me really getting deep into
Addison
the plot
Vodka. Thank you so much for being with me on Sex Party. Let's tell these party goers who are like, what the hell just happened? Let's tell them where they can find you on social media, where they can find your OnlyFans and just like dump, buckets or baskets of cash out on you, this whole holiday season.
Yes, please do all of the cash dumping. You can find me at addisonvodka.com for my OnlyFans, and you can find me on Instagram, Addison Vodka, and you can find me on Twitter at Addison Vodka, but in vodka, the O is 0. So that's the only one. But if you go to addisonvodka.com, it will give you my other links if that's all too complicated for you. So just addisonvodka.com.
Yeah, and there's some sort of brand partnership down the road with a vodka company, or maybe you start your own. I mean, come on, you had to have thought of this already, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, before we go, what is your favorite brand of vodka?
So I'm a Grey Goose girl. That's the one.
Okay. Yeah. Respect. I'm a Tito's guy. I love the Crystal Head vodka, the Skull bottle. That's like another fun one too. For me. Yeah.
I like it.
Love it. Thank you so much for being with me on the show this week. We will talk soon. I'd love to have you back, so we'll have to figure that out with Erica. But thank you so much for being on and having a blast with me this week.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Big thank you to my guest, Addison Vodka, for being with me on the show this week. Make sure you go check out everything she is doing. Go check out her OnlyFans. Go check out her cam shows. Go dump buckets of money on her. Check out all her content on Pornhub. Follow her on Instagram, all the places. If you're loving guests like Addison, you want to see her again, she will be back in the future. I can promise you that. But you're loving the show, you're loving Sex Party, and you just want to show some appreciation, some desire to always be in the know. You want more Sex Party in your life. How do you do that? You could leave a rating. You could leave a review. But the best way to show your love and your devotion to the show, if you're listening to this on platforms like Apple and Spotify, you can subscribe to the show. Honestly, fuck all the other stuff. Just subscribe to the show. That way you never miss a new episode every single Wednesday, especially if you're subscribed or you think you're subscribed on Apple Podcasts. They've been doing this thing where they've been unsubscribing people for some random reason. So here's what you want to do. You want to go to Apple Podcasts, go to Sex Party with Dustin Rybka, upper right-hand corner, look for a check mark. You see a check mark, you're good. You see a pause button or anything else, an arrow, click the arrow, drop-down menu will appear. Click resume downloads, resume subscriptions, one of those two. Bing, bang, boom, you're back, you're subscribed, you're good to go. If you're watching this on YouTube, I love you. I see you. I appreciate you. If you're watching on YouTube, if you were to have full creative control over one of your porn scenes, where would you set it and what would be going on? Let me know in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube and you love the show, you can't get enough of it, what can you do to show that love? Well, you could like all the videos. That's great. You could comment on the videos. I love chatting with you guys. But the most important thing you can do is subscribe to the channel so you never miss a new episode every single Wednesday. As always, I'm available in the DMs on Instagram, and I will see you all right back here next week.
Thanks for listening. The party continues next week. Click subscribe and let's make this a regular thing. Follow the show on Instagram and Twitter at SexPartyFM. Follow Dustin at Dustin Rybka.